Hello, everybody. Welcome to Yoga for Self-Love with Kim. I am Kim, and this will be a short, gentle practice. If you have a yoga strap, please grab it, have it handy. If you don't, you could grab a belt or bathrobe tie or sash or anything like that, or you can skip it. We won't be using it for very long, but if you have it, go ahead and grab it. Let's find our way down onto our backs, and we will start in Shavasana, final relaxation pose. So you can extend your legs down the mat, feet to bottom corners of the mat, and you can let your feet roll in or out, whichever way they want to go. If this does not feel good for your low back, you are welcome to bend your knees, plant your feet on the mat, and point your knees up towards the ceiling. And then you can take your arms out to the sides. You can turn your palms up or down if you feel like you need some grounding energy today. Or you could bring your hands to rest on your belly, or one hand on heart, one hand on belly. So find what feels good for you today. And then if you like, you can close your eyes or find a soft gaze. We won't stay here for too long, but just take a moment to stop before we get started. Take a moment to just let yourself relax. And let yourself land. Call back all of your energy. Take a moment to just be present with yourself and check in. How do you feel today? How does your mind feel? How does your body feel? What's your emotional tone today? And how does your energy feel? Feeling calm and steady, or maybe a little bit more anxious, amped up? Let go of judgment, just notice what's there. Take a baseline. Let your whole body relax. Your feet, your legs, your hips and pelvis, your buttocks and your belly. Relax through your back, low back, mid back, upper back. Relax through the front of your body, your rib cage, your chest, your collarbones. Relax your shoulders, your arms, your hands and your fingers. Relax your neck and your throat and your jaw. Relax your tongue and your face. Little muscles around your eyes. Soften your eyebrows and the space in between your eyebrows. Relax your cheekbones and your temples. Relax your forehead, your scalp, crown of your head. Whole body's relaxed. And then begin to slowly invite some movement in. I invite you to bring in the intention to be gentle, kind, patient, loving, and compassionate with yourself as we move through this gentle practice. And you can start to move your body however it wants to move. You can bring the arms up overhead, extend the legs down the mat. You can open and close your hands. Bringing your hands into fists and then opening the fingers wide and then curling in your toes, making fists with your feet and then opening and spreading the toes. And you can roll out your ankles, roll out your wrists. Find any movement that you like here. If you can actually yawn, then do that and see what your body wants to do when you yawn. And then bring legs together. And then bring your arms out to the sides, cactus the arms. So fingers are reaching up, elbows, backs of the arms are down on the mat. And keep the eyes closed, or you can flutter the eyes open. And then begin to reach your right heel, right foot, right hip down towards the bottom of your mat. And then begin to reach your left foot, heel, left hip down towards the bottom of your mat. And then again, reach the right foot down, right hip down. And then the left hip, left foot down. So it's almost like you're walking, subtly moving the foot, the hip on that same side down. And then next time you reach the right foot, right hip downward, begin to reach the right arm upward towards the top of your mat. And then bend the right elbow, bring that arm back to where it started, cactusing the arm out to the side. And then reach that left foot, left hip down as you reach the left arm up and away. And then begin to switch that side to side, reaching right foot down, right arm up, bringing that back to starting point, and then again reaching left arm down, left arm up, and then coming back to your starting point. And then bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees open out to the sides. Coming into a Supta Baddha Konasana, or cobbler's pose. And then pick up your knees. Walk your feet wide to outer edges of your mat and knock the knees in. Let them rest together. And then pick up your knees, walk your feet back in. Feet are hip width-ish distance. And now take your strap. Then you'll take the middle of your strap around the bottom of your right foot. And then press up through that right heel. And gently pull down on the strap. Relax through your shoulders. Relax through your jaw. Press that right heel up. For a moment, open your left knee out to the left side. Similar to where we were in our Baddha Konasana. And then pick up your left knee and now extend your left leg down the mat. Gently pull down on the strap and then slowly begin to open your right leg out to the right side. You take your left hand to rest on that left hip if you like. And then slowly bring that right leg back up to center. And gently pulling on the strap as you press up through the heel. Send your breath into the back of the right leg. And then bend the right knee and remove the strap. And you can start again from this hook lying position with both knees bent, feet on the mat. And then we'll loop the ball of that left foot. Press the heel up towards the ceiling. If your back of your leg, your hamstrings are tight, you could have a big or little bend in the back of this left leg. Gently pressing up through that heel as you pull down on the strap, keeping the shoulders relaxed, the jaw relaxed, the face relaxed. Slowly begin to open the right knee out to the right side. And then bring the right knee back up and send the right leg down the mat, extending the leg down, gently pulling on the strap. And then slowly open the left leg out to the left side to your degree. Keep your Right half of your pelvis rooting down towards the mat, and you could take your right hand to rest on your right hip. And then slowly bring that left leg back up. Again, gently pulling on the strap, pressing up through left heel. And then bend the left knee, remove the strap. Grab both knees into your chest, inner edges of feet together, inner legs together. Roll your knees around in a few circles. And then switch the direction of your circles. And then bring your legs to center. And now open the knees out to the side. Reach your hands in between the legs and grab a hold of your shins or your ankles or whatever you can grab. Just let the knees open out to the sides. A little opening through the hips and the groins. And then bring the knees in towards the chest. Take your hands behind the backs of your thighs and then hug the thighs into the chest as you bend your knees, and imagine that you're planting your feet up on the ceiling. So a happy baby modification. Keep your sacrum reaching down towards the mat. And then you can release your feet down. Bring the arms alongside the body. We'll take it through a few rounds of pelvic rocking, beginning to loosen up the spine. So as you inhale, you can tilt your tail down towards the mat. You'll feel your low back begin to lift up or chip off of the mat a little bit. And as you exhale, you can tilt the tail up, roll the tail up, the low back will press down towards the mat, and then begin to roll through this a few times. As you inhale, tilt the tail down, feel that arch and lift through the back. As you exhale, tilt the tail up, feel the low back press down. And then come to a neutral spine, and now take your hands behind your head, interlace your fingers, and take the elbows wide. And now as you inhale, you'll tilt the tail down, back will lift up and arch up off of the mat. And then this time as you exhale, begin to tilt your tail up, low back will press down. Also lift head, shoulders, torso up off of the mat, wrap the elbows around the ears. And then inhale, it takes you back down. Elbows will open out to the sides. You feel that arch through the back. As you exhale again, curl yourself up. Elbows wrap around ears. Low back presses down to mat. A couple more times. Inhaling. Tail tilts down. Elbows come back to the mat wide. And as you exhale again, you curl yourself up. Elbows wrap around ears. Couple more. And then release yourself down to the mat. And now extend your right leg out. So your right knee will come to right around where the left knee is. And then bring the arms down alongside the body. We'll take a deep breath in here. And as you exhale, begin to curl yourself up and reach your hands outside of your legs. As you inhale, lower yourself back down. Keep the legs where they are. You might reach the arms up overhead, or you could just bring the arms back down alongside the body. And then as you exhale again, begin to curl yourself up. Hands reaching outside of the legs. Inhale takes you back down. Exhale, curl yourself up. One more time, we'll inhale, bring it down. Exhale, curl it back up. And then release, drop the right foot down to the mat. So now both knees are bent again. And then extend that left leg out, left knee sort of in line with where the right knee is. And then arms alongside body, deep breath in. As you exhale, you curl yourself up, reaching hands outside of legs. Inhale brings you back down, arms alongside body or up overhead. Exhale, you curl yourself back up. Inhale, bring it down. Exhale, curl it up. Inhale, bring it back down. Exhale, curl yourself up. And then the last time, inhale, lower down. And as you exhale, curl yourself back up, arms reaching outside of the legs. And then release yourself down. Again, let's take soles of the feet together. Open the knees out to the sides. And then pick up your knees. Take your feet wide to outer edges of your mat. And then drop both knees over to the right. And then swing your knees back through center. Drop both knees over to the left. And then you can do this a few times. And if you like, you can add the head in. Roll your head in the opposite direction that the knees are going. And then bring yourself back to center. You can walk your feet back in. And now find your way up into a comfortable seat. You can rock and roll yourself up, rocking back and forth along the spine if that feels okay for you, or just roll over to one side and press yourself up. And then you can plant the feet on the mat. Root down through your sitting bones, and now take your hands behind you, fingers pointing towards top of your mat. Lift up through your belly and through your low back and begin to walk your feet in. And then either keep the toes touching down on the mat, or you can lift the toes up a little bit, or you could lift your shins up parallel-ish to the mat. Keep lifting up through your low back. And then release your feet down to the mat. Take your hands to knees or shins. Pull the knees open and draw your heart forward. Lift up your heart. And then plant the feet back down. Take the hands back behind you. Walk your feet back in. Toes down. Hug in through the belly. Stay here or lift toes up a little bit, or lift up the shins. Keep it here, or if you like, you can release the arms out to the sides or forward. And then feet come back down. Let's take hands to the knees or shins, open knees wide, draw the heart forward, lift heart, lift gaze. And then plant the feet back down again. Let's take the hands back behind you. Walk your feet back in. Toes touch down or lift up, or you lift the shins up. And then hands can stay where they are, or you can release the hands. And then release the feet down, and this time take the hands back underneath the shoulders, fingers pointing up towards the top of the mat. Press into your feet, into your fingers. Hug in through the arms. Begin to glide your hips forward and up. So you bring yourself up into this reverse table. And you can gaze forward, or if it feels okay for your neck, you can gaze up. And then slowly lower yourself back down. Cross shins. Let's take it forward. Coming on to hands and knees, finding table. You can give your hips a rock from side to side. Find whatever movement feels good to you here. You can look over towards one hip and then look over towards the other hip. You could roll through some cat-cow while you're here if you like. Let's do that now. Bring yourself to center, to that neutral table, and inhale, lift the tail, lift the heart, and as you exhale, press into the hands, round your back up towards the ceiling. Roll through this a few times. Bring yourself to neutral spine and extend your right leg back behind you, hip level-ish. Hold it here or root down into your right hand and reach forward with your left arm. And then release the left hand down to the mat. Drop your right ball of your foot all the way down to the mat and press out through your heel. Press down and out through your hands. You could give yourself a few rocks back and forth here. And then release that right knee down to the mat and extend your left leg back, hip level-ish, holding here, or root into the left hand and reach forward with your right arm. And then release the right hand down, drop all of the left foot down to the mat, press out through the heel, press down and out through your hands, and maybe find that little rocking back and forth. And then release that left knee down to the mat. We'll send the right leg back behind again, hip level-ish, and then bend the right knee right underneath your body, round your back up towards the ceiling, and then step or carry that right foot up to the top of the mat. And then press down into that right foot, lift yourself up, take hands to that front thigh, press into your hands, lift up through the crown of the head, and then reach your arms up. And you can lower the hips down a little bit if that feels okay for you. Finding some length through that left psoas muscle, which runs from lumbar spine, behind the abdominal organs down through the pelvis and attaches inside of that front left inner thigh. We have one on each side of the body. Let's take our hands back down to the mat, step that right foot back, and then switch sides. Send that left leg back, bend that left knee, draw it underneath your body, round up through your back, step or carry that left foot up to the top of the mat, press down into that left foot, lift yourself up. Hands press into that thigh, and then reach the arms up, and then maybe you allow the hips to lower down a little bit. And then hands come down, step yourself back into your table, and let's do it again. One more time on each side. Send that right leg back, and then bend that right knee, draw it underneath your body. Step that right foot through, press into that right foot, lift yourself up, arms reach up, finding our low lunge, and then allowing that left hip to drop down and open up, right hip pulls back a little bit, and then hands come back down, right foot steps back into our table, send the left leg back, bend that knee, draw it underneath your body, step or carry that foot up to the top of your mat, press down into that left foot, lift up, arms reach up, press into the feet, lift up through the belly, maybe you drop the hips down a little bit, and then hands come back down, come back into your table, and then bring your bum back to your heels, child's pose. And then slither your way down onto your belly. And bring your hands underneath your shoulders, hug the elbows in. Root down through your fingers and the tops of your feet. And then lift your heart up, for a baby cobra. And then release yourself down. And then again, hug the elbows in, lift your heart up, baby cobra. And then you can stay here or press into your hands and lift your heart, coming up a little bit higher into full cobra. Could have a bend in the elbows or arms straight. See what feels okay for your low back. If you feel like there's too much compression in the low back, then take yourself down a notch. And then lower yourself down. Again, hugging the elbows, press into the fingers and the toes. We'll lift it up, baby cobra, or bring it up into your full cobra. And then release yourself back down. One more time, elbows in, lift up your heart, baby cobra, or lift it up into your full cobra. Release yourself down. And now find your way over on to your back. And we will come back to where we started in our Shavasana. But before you get too comfortable, just for one moment, send your legs and your arms up towards the ceiling and just find some free-form movement. So you can bend the elbows and the knees. You can roll out wrists and ankles. Open the legs and cross them. You can do anything you want. What does your body want to do? And then find your way into Shavasana, back to where we started. Let everything relax. And please feel free to stay in your Shavasana for as long as you like. When you feel ready, bring one hand to rest on heart, one hand to rest on belly. Come back to our intention to be gentle, kind, patient, loving, and compassionate towards ourselves. Take a deep breath in through your nose and then sigh it out of your mouth. Slowly roll yourself over to one side and bring yourself into the fetal position. And then use your hands to slowly press yourself back up. Back into a comfortable seated position and bring your palms together at your heart. Thank you so much for sharing this gentle practice with me today. I hope it helped. With love and gratitude. Namaste.